Indie games are outshining the big budget titles with creativity, action, and unforgettable stories. And trust me, you're going to love every game on this list. Let's dive in. Imagine Mega Man X got a roguelike makeover with randomly generated levels, co-op gameplay, and tight, pixel-perfect controls. That's 30XX. It's fast, fluid, and incredibly fun, whether you're playing solo or with a friend. And if you prefer handcrafted levels, there's also a Mega Mode with pre-designed stages. The game nails the classic precision platforming of Mega Man X, but what keeps it fresh is how every run feels different. You'll find new power-ups, tougher enemies, and wild challenges that keep you on your toes. Plus, you can even create your own levels and share them with others. The pixel art is gorgeous, and the music? Absolute banger. Personally, I love how this game keeps the difficulty just right. Challenging, but never unfair. If you enjoy a good platforming challenge with endless replayability, 30XX is a must-play. Dark Souls, but make it underwater, starring a tiny hermit crab. Yeah, you heard that right. In Another Crab's Treasure, you're a small crab in a big, dangerous ocean, scavenging through discarded trash for makeshift shells. It's weirdly adorable, but don't be fooled. The combat is no joke. You'll need perfectly timed parries, dodges, and smart shell choices to survive. Plus, different shells grant unique abilities, adding a layer of strategy beyond just defense. One thing I really love about this game is how it blends challenging combat with an environmental message. The ocean is filled with pollution, and the game subtly reminds you of the damage we do to marine life. But it's not all doom and gloom. The game has a quirky sense of humor, with hilarious dialogue and unexpected moments of charm. With creative enemy designs, accessibility options that let you tailor the challenge, and a fun progression system, Another Crab's Treasure is a must-play for anyone who loves Souls-likes with a unique twist. Ever wanted a game that feels like Super Metroid, but with a weird, glitchy, sci-fi horror twist? Axiom Verge is exactly that. This 2D Metroidvania is all about exploration, unique weapons, and mind-bending mechanics. One of the coolest features is the Address Disruptor, a tool that lets you hack the game world, altering enemies, uncovering hidden areas, and even glitching through seemingly solid walls. The atmosphere is incredibly eerie, with haunting pixel art, unsettling music, and a sense of mystery that keeps you hooked. The game leans into its sci-fi horror elements, questioning reality and identity as you uncover its cryptic story. Every new area introduces stranger creatures, deadlier weapons, and bizarre, corrupted environments that feel like the game itself is breaking apart. Personally, I love how Axiom Verge captures that classic Metroidvania feeling while adding its own identity with glitch mechanics, psychological horror themes, and an insane arsenal of weapons. If you love exploring strange alien worlds filled with secrets, this is a must-play. Poker meets roguelike deck building? Sign me up. Balatro takes classic poker and completely flips it on its head. Instead of just playing normal hands, you'll collect jokers with insane abilities, stack wild power-ups, and create broken, high-scoring combos. What makes this game so addictive is its risk-reward system. Each run gets tougher, forcing you to carefully manage your deck while aiming for massive multipliers. Even if you don't know much about poker, it's easy to pick up, and the thrill of landing a perfect hand never gets old. Personally, this game is a total time sink. The kind you start playing and suddenly 5 hours have vanished. With its retro-inspired visuals, chill lo-fi soundtrack, and endless strategic depth, Balatro is a must-play for fans of deck builders and strategy games. If Dark Souls and Castlevania had a dark, pixel art baby, it would be Blasphemous too. This brutal, gothic Metroidvania puts you in the shoes of the penitent one, battling grotesque, nightmarish creatures in a deeply unsettling, religious-inspired world. Combat feels smoother than ever, with 3 unique weapons, each with its own abilities, strengths, and traversal mechanics. The boss fights? Absolutely insane. Every encounter is a grotesque masterpiece that pushes your skill and patience to the limit. But what truly sets Blasphemous 2 apart is its world. Hauntingly beautiful pixel art, cryptic lore steeped in religious horror, and an interconnected map that rewards exploration. If you love challenging, atmospheric games with deep storytelling, this one is a must-play. Contra fans, this one's for you. Blazing Chrome is a run-and-gun shooter straight out of the arcade golden era. Mechs, cyborgs, explosions, and non-stop action, all with tight, responsive controls. The co-op mode makes it a blast to play with a friend, and the difficulty? Brutal, but in that perfect way that keeps you coming back for more. Along the way, you'll wield an arsenal of powerful weapons, ride mechs, and take on massive robotic bosses in thrilling set-piece battles. What I love most is how Blazing Chrome feels like a lost 90s arcade gem, complete with gorgeous pixel art and an electrifying soundtrack, but with just the right amount of modern polish. If you crave that old-school action adrenaline rush, this is a must-play. Castlevania Symphony of the Night fans, this is your game. Created by Koji Igarashi, Bloodstained is a gothic side-scrolling RPG filled with deep exploration, RPG mechanics, and tons of secrets. The shard system lets you mix and match powerful abilities, making combat feel fun and customizable. The eerie atmosphere, haunting soundtrack, from Castlevania's Michiru Yamane, and grand gothic castles make every moment feel like a dark, mysterious adventure. And the boss fights? Absolutely insane. Massive, grotesque creatures that push your skills to the limit. For me, Bloodstained is everything I wanted in a modern Castlevania successor. If you love challenging battles, collecting weapons, and uncovering dark mysteries, this is a must-play. If you're a fan of Jet Set Radio, this one's going to hit you right in the nostalgia, but with an even smoother flow and more style. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is all about fast movement, crazy tricks, and graffiti-covered street culture. The cel-shaded visuals are gorgeous, and the world just oozes personality. You can grind, wall run, and flip through the city while tagging spots and outmaneuvering police. There's even some combat, letting you take on cops and rival crews, though it's not as refined as the movement. And let's talk about the soundtrack. Absolute fire. It perfectly captures that rebellious, high-energy vibe that made Jet Set Radio so iconic. Beyond the gameplay, you also build your own crew, recruiting new characters along the way. The trick system is simple but satisfying, making it easy to pull off stylish combos. And while the story is light, it adds a fun backdrop to the game's futuristic world of New Amsterdam. For me, this game isn't just a throwback. It's a true evolution of the formula. If you love smooth movement, stylish visuals, killer beats, and a touch of urban rebellion, this is a must-play. This game is weird, adorable, and surprisingly deep. In Bugsnax, you explore Snacktooth Island, capturing bizarre creatures that are part bug, part snack. Yes, you heard that right. You'll use creative tools to trap them and solve puzzles, all while trying to rebuild a lost settlement and uncover the strange mystery surrounding the island's inhabitants. At first, it feels like a goofy, lighthearted adventure, but trust me, there's more beneath the surface. The characters have surprisingly emotional arcs, and as the story unfolds, you realize there's something much darker lurking beneath all the charm. The game plays with themes of obsession, transformation, and even survival in ways you wouldn't expect. I love how Bugsnax balances humor, charm, and mystery all in one package. The gameplay keeps you engaged with unique puzzle solving and fun creature-catching mechanics. If you're looking for something fun, wholesome, and oddly compelling, with a few surprises along the way, give this one a shot. Ever wanted to play as the monster in a horror game? Well, Carrion lets you do exactly that. Instead of running from a terrifying creature, you are the terrifying creature. A slithering, shape-shifting mass of flesh and tentacles, escaping from a secret lab while devouring scientists and growing in power. The movement in this game is incredibly smooth, making it feel strangely satisfying to slink through vents, grab enemies with your tendrils, and cause absolute chaos. The eerie sound design and environmental storytelling pull you into the horror atmosphere without a single spoken word. For me, Carrion is one of the most unique horror experiences out there. It's dark, disturbing, but also weirdly fun. While it's on the shorter side, every moment is packed with tension and creativity. If you love games that flip the script and let you be the villain, this is a must-play. Take the creature-collecting fun of Pokémon, mix it with open-world exploration, and throw in a deep fusion system that lets you combine any two monsters into a brand-new hybrid. That's Cassette Beasts. Instead of catching creatures, you record them onto cassette tapes and use their powers in turn-based battles. With over 14,000 fusion possibilities, every fight feels fresh, requiring smart strategy and planning. The elemental battle system adds another layer of depth, making each encounter more than just brute force. Beyond battles, the open world is full of secrets, puzzles, and NPCs with their own stories. The vibrant pixel art and dynamic soundtrack make the game even more immersive. What I love most is how strategic and creative it gets. Choosing the right fusion can turn the tide of battle in ways you wouldn't expect. If you love monster collecting games but want something fresh and innovative, this is a must-play. Cuphead doesn't need an introduction. It's one of the most stylish and brutally difficult indie games ever made. Designed like a 1930s cartoon, every frame of animation is hand-drawn, making the game feel like you're playing inside a classic animated film. The jazzy soundtrack is phenomenal, and the boss fights? Insanely tough but incredibly rewarding. But Cuphead isn't just about bosses. It also has fast-paced run-and-gun levels that keep you on your toes. The parry mechanic adds another layer of skill, rewarding precise timing with extra power. And if you want to share the challenge, co-op mode lets a friend join in as Mugman. With the delicious Last Course DLC adding even more bosses and a new playable character, Cuphead is bigger and better than ever. If you love challenging games with jaw-dropping visuals, this is a must-play. Disco Elysium isn't just a game. It's one of the best-written RPGs ever made. You play as a down-on-his-luck detective trying to solve a murder in a mysterious, decaying city. But this isn't your typical crime story. Your character's inner thoughts constantly fight for control, making every decision a battle between logic, emotion, and madness. The sheer amount of freedom is mind-blowing. Want to talk your way out of every situation? You can. Want to play as a corrupt cop who takes bribes? Also possible. Your political views and personality aren't just flavor text. They shape how the world reacts to you. With the final cut, full voice acting brings every character to life, making its phenomenal writing even better. And the game's hand-painted art style and haunting jazz soundtrack create an unforgettable atmosphere. For me, Disco Elysium is one of the most unique and thought-provoking games ever made. If you love deep, story-driven RPGs with real choices and incredible world-building, this is an absolute must-play. Fighting games are usually packed with tons of buttons, complicated combos, and crazy mechanics. But Divekick, it simplifies everything down to just 2 buttons. Yep, you can only dive and kick, but somehow, it still manages to be an incredibly strategic and hilariously fun fighting game. With every hit being an instant knockout, every match becomes a tense mind game of outsmarting your opponent. The best part? Even though it's so simple, each character has unique abilities that add variety and depth. And if you love fighting games, you'll appreciate all the inside jokes and ridiculous parodies of classic fighting game tropes. I love how Divekick takes a simple concept and turns it into something brilliant. Whether you're a hardcore fighting game fan or just looking for something fun and easy to pick up, this one is worth trying. If you miss classic Sonic games, Freedom Planet is the perfect modern take on that fast-paced, side-scrolling action, but with its own unique twists. You play as Lilac, Carol, and Milla, each with their own abilities, blasting through beautifully designed levels filled with high-speed platforming, tight controls, and satisfying combat. Unlike Sonic, Freedom Planet leans into action, with a deeper combat system that keeps fights engaging. On top of that, the game features a fully voice-acted story mode, giving it more narrative depth than your typical retro platformer. What I love about Freedom Planet is how it balances speed, combat, and exploration, making it feel both nostalgic and fresh. If you're a fan of fast-paced action, colorful worlds, and old-school platformers, this one is a must-play. And that's a wrap on the best indie games you need to play right now. Thanks for joining me on this indie game journey. If you enjoyed discovering these gems, smash that like button and subscribe for more exciting content. Got a favorite indie game or one we missed? Drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep gaming and stay awesome.